All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for The Promised Neverland, Episode 2. All right. So Emma, Norman, and Ray have discovered something.
Yes.
Very disturbing in their little orphanage abode community setup.
Connie dead.
Connie's super dead.
Yep.
And
was actually 6 years old. It was stated.
Yes, that's right.
But
yes,
but yeah.
But there are creature things that we have to deal with that are plucking them at a ripe age for consumption.
Right, or something.
Yes.
Yeah, they're definitely being sold off for consumption.
And there is a measure by which they care about the intelligence,
right?
The mental aptitude of the individuals for like having tastier flesh or what have you.
It's creepy, it's crazy, it's awesome, it's intriguing.
Yes.
It's mysterious, it's wonderful.
It's a perfect first episode to start us off, and now we just have to see what kind of story they want to tell with this perfect foundation they have set up for us.
Because they have options.
They have options, yeah. And we discussed it in the previous episode.
Right.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, what? The little animation title card thing ends right now.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Dreaming about everything that happened.
Yeah. And the idea of Connie being food. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. That's how you remind us of the psychological stakes, pun intended. Oh yeah, this OB.
Yeah. Imagine if it hadn't gone totally crazy the first episode, but they still had this opening.
Right.
Like that would have been like, wait, what? Because it's like, hey, just in case you didn't know, this show's gonna... The 3 lines?
The lines going around the head of the white-haired one. Like it was perfectly circled around him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that one. And it's just me, but the way they frame him makes him seem a little bit like... I don't know. I've watched Monster, and my predilection towards white-haired little kids is a little nervous. I'm a little nervous around them now.
Right. Well, and especially considering, because, white-haired characters generally connotates some cold aspect, right?
Yeah.
And the mom, from what we've seen, is someone that's very cold, so... Yeah.
Excuse me.
But man,
wow.
The idea of having the crimson thread of fate just burning up, that's...
Yeah.
Paints a picture.
Yeah. I like that. That's like a squad. I know.
Well, and you know that Ray was totally posing for it.
Oh, yeah.
With just the amount of hair coming down in front of his face.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh. 131045. Are we going to have to memorize their numbers over the course of time? Maybe. Just hearing her voice. And that smile. Conceal,
Norman's
don't feel, don't let it show. Make one wrong move and everyone will know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do. Just forget it ever happened. Yep.
Yep. And we still have each other, so focus on
Norman's
that.
able to do it so easily.
Yeah, that's true. The cold aspect is probably... Wow. Uh-huh, yep. Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Right. So the ones that don't do well on tests, it's like, well, we're not going to get anything from them anyways.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay. 2 months. That's a small and a long amount of time if you're thinking about it from the paranoia, fear standpoint. Like, oh. What's like a hoof? Okay.
There's Norman being cold.
Yeah, you have no idea.
You could scout ahead, yeah, Oh.
Oh my gosh. I knew it. I knew there had to be something else there. It's just that it's psychologically less, fearful if you He's not as physically capable as Emma, so maybe Emma should climb it. Yep.
Yeah, because if the trees grow taller than the wall...
Yeah. Oh, it's huge! There's no way they could... Yeah. So it's not hollow. No.
Exactly.
Nice. Oh, head back. Oh no. Oh. Oh. She has tracking devices on them. No.
Wow.
So she could have noticed that they went beyond the little wall.
Potentially. Wow.
Oh, this is bad.
I mean, of course they'd be tracked.
Of course they have tracking devices.
And if that's the case, the fact that, like, they don't have tracks of everywhere they've gone, that's, you know, that's very lucky for them.
Very lucky. Oh. Yep. And they're smart. They'll figure it out. The way they call her mom. Just...
Yeah.
And you hear that little scratch in the background?
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect. Yep. Oh. Whoa. Oh, dang! That little look!
Oh. If that's the case, the fact that they didn't walk with the rest of them could also be telling.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. What's Ray gonna do, though?
I think Ray is in, like, thinking mode.
Right.
Like, just general thinking and stuff. Yeah, that makes way more sense, because also they probably want to monitor their health. So they have things in there. They're probably not just looking at, you know, where they are, but like monitoring growth and all that other kind of stuff, because they're expensive products, essentially.
Right.
Right. Gotcha. Otherwise, we would be in big trouble at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she's warning everyone. She's trying to warn as many people potentially as possible.
The clock not working, could that... But, like, some devices could start being put in, you know, since they know that someone's out there.
True.
You know, to try and find out who. Yeah.
Oh my god, she's creepy.
Wow.
Like, are you feeling well? Oh my god. Nice.
Yeah.
Tying it back into what she said in the first episode. Wow, Emma.
Holy crap.
You're good.
That's natural, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Emma's also accusing.
Yeah.
Like how could you?
Yeah.
Monster.
Waging psychological warfare in the aggressive way. Oh, who's...
Wow.
Nice. Ray coming in and saving Emma. Well done.
Excellent.
Oh, these kids are smart. This is wonderful.
Wow.
1, 2, 3. Answer quickly. Nice. Oh, they saved Emma too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Wow.
Breathe. Breathe. Rely on each other. Lean on each other. Like, I need... Yeah,
Norman's terrified, too.
He's trembling, too. This is good. Oh. Nice.
Okay. And then they show
Show
mom.
mom. Oh, okay. Ray just kind of...
Oh, that's right, because have they told him yet? They might not have, I'm not sure.
No, I think he can just tell that there's something off with them. But no, they didn't tell him. Right? A Death Star.
Nice.
Oh, and they just slowly store little bit by little bit in the tree.
Nice.
Okay. Oh.
Sure.
He'll be the means by which to deal with the tracking devices. Yo.
So, that's how it is.
What's that book got to do with anything? Oh. Oh, she's gonna look at her tracking device. Yep. They're not at their usual spot.
Ray isn't there. Because he's always
with his
sitting
book. If it had been just you. Yeah. Ouch. All right, Killua, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Oh. Norman is... Oh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This is why she's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, there were 38 of us.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
In this
Here we
promised
go.
Neverland.
Yeah. The Great Escape. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then Mom shows up. Because otherwise we'd go crazy.
Oh. Whoa, that dark shadow.
Yeah. She was worrying about everyone else. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's why she wants to stay here. Or she did want to stay here.
Hmm.
Yeah, you could escape right now, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Black and white, the way that they're... Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Saw that coming. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, the way that shot makes it look like Mom's watching.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, that will never happen.
Wait.
Oh. Calling it now.
He's going to turn himself in?
No, Norman will give himself up. He will sacrifice himself, but not in that way. Oh, this music. What is going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All semblance of sanity is gone.
Right here.
This is why Norman's the true genius of the group.
What were you guys doing?
Yeah.
Oh.
A new one has come. Oh.
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 She called for backup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Her purple eyes.
Uh-huh. Oh boy.
Hide your discomfort more, kids.
Uh-huh.
You're too obvious.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so now we've covered basically everything in the OP.
Yeah.
By having the new lady come in, Sister Krone.
Right.
Which having her name be Krone.
Uh-huh.
Like.
Well, right, because there's the whole idea of the old lady, like old hag.
Right.
Or crown. Yeah.
Oh.
Plus, I love the song Krone, so that helps too. But yeah, so they're going for the Great Escape thing where they're going to be spending at least a fair amount of time here before they leave.
Right.
And it's going to be more of like the intrigue kind of escape.
It's going to be, it's going to be the mental gymnastics required to outmaneuver the adults, the demons, the tracking devices, all potential other security measures that we haven't discovered yet.
Right.
And that's probably the thing that is just the most worrisome.
And it's not a set system because they know this is happening.
Right, right.
So they'll up the security like they did here.
So... Oh. I like how they brought up the idea of how much they could extrapolate about the outside world just by knowing that these creatures are out there eating humans. Kind of like we did. Oh. Oh,
man. Oh, and the book.
Uh-huh.
The book, the shoe, and... Okay.
Okay. All right. That's good. That felt like a proper second episode.
Yes.
We solidified the foundation of the story even more by drawing in our third of the main characters into their little plot.
And Right, and clearly establishing a game plan moving forward for what the show's going to be like beyond just the immediate premise.
Right.
So they're still at the house. They need to escape. They've gotten everyone else. The three of them are now on the same page. They're working together. But Mom has her own thing that she's doing. Mom is definitely an enemy. There's no question about that.
No question about it.
No question about that. She's terrifying. She has tracking devices in them, which makes sense. Of course she would.
And she feels
she calls
nothing about losing Connie.
Yeah, like the way Emma brought that up of
accusing, like you were saying. That was exactly. So good to notice that. Oh my god.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
And here's the thing. She could still be human.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be some creature in disguise or something like that.
Yeah.
She could actually be human. And while I would say Purple Eyes is, if I don't know how anime this story is,
but given everything else, it could just be
a thing to showcase that she's evil,
Yeah, just to give her that unsettling,
yeah. Okay. Big things we're establishing here via the exposition of these main three characters.
Yes, I'm very glad that they did that.
Yes.
Because we have smart main characters.
Very smart and very competent main characters.
Right.
So that allows us to jump even further beyond their intelligent things while also solidifying the things that they determined here. There are a couple things in this story that I like that they're sidestepping really quickly. Any kind of interpersonal drama surrounding, I would say, things like...
Oh, like Ray being like, why didn't you tell me?
Exactly. None of that. It's something where... Like, Emma basically is like, oh, he gets it so fast. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Because these kids are intelligent. And what they're building them up to be is not just intelligent, but also, really intelligent. Hyper intelligent.
Yeah.
And it's something where they get perfect scores on, 300 points or something.
Some ridiculous number of questions when they had 9 seconds to
answer the questions.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, there's some serious...
The gears are well-oiled and turning very quickly.
They got good noggins, good noodles.
Yeah.
So, the thing that Ray extrapolated here, which I love that he was basically saying, Norman, you know about this, but you haven't told Emma this, basically, is that Emma has the heart of the group and also the physicality of the group, but doesn't have the highest... far future kind of projecting intelligence of the other two.
Yeah.
And what they projected out was that if this is a farm and we're being prepped to be fed to demons, basically, what that means on the level of, a food chain is that demons, these creatures, are now higher up on the food chain than humans to the point where they can even have farm or, let's be real, farms.
Exactly. This is not the only farm.
This is not the only farm.
And the fact that theirs is so undisturbed, seemingly, that this is the first time they got a hint of it, that means it's a fairly undisputed rule.
It's also something where, let's be real here, another thing, they don't seem to have any urgency with which they
are harvesting.
Right. So it's just a regular thing.
Yep.
We have a schedule and we stick to the schedule. It's a tempo. It just consistent goes. And they have memory going back of that it's been this way for a while. So they were able to extrapolate that, okay, we have another 2 months-ish before the next one. And that's based on the tempo not being perfect, exactly, but it's within this certain set of parameters that they can go, okay, we have 2 months at least.
Right.
Unless something changes, which, let's be real, things have changed. Yeah. Things have changed. From Mom's perspective, she's dealing with potentially one, if not more, kids that have, figured out the truth.
Right.
Now, I would think that from Mom's perspective here, if I try to get inside her head here, well, I think what she's most worried about is that it's more than one.
Sure.
So what she's going to probably try and do is isolate someone who knows something.
Sure.
And utilize certain psychological scare tactics to push someone into saying or revealing more than they should if they're trying to stay hidden.
And it doesn't have to be a scare tactic either.
Oh, that's true.
She could do something as simple as saying, okay, we're going to just ship someone else out right now.
Yeah, and see how they react.
Right, exactly. You know, and basically force their hand because, because the fact that
there's tons of mind games you can play for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. It would at the very least help her figure out who it is because it'd be hard to hide the response at that point.
Yeah.
If not causing them to move too soon, you know.
Sure. That also calls into question, though she is an enemy, we do not know how much influence she has over the schedule or the harvesting. What I would believe it to be is that she has, like with those tracking devices, very detailed statistics on every single kid's like everything physiologically.
But if she had so much as like heart rate, you know, like that would be like she could just figure out it's like, oh, this is what the regular heart rate is, accounting for play and things like that where they're getting excited. Oh, why is it, 30 beats per minute faster? You know,
that is a good point. Like, I think then that if we're going to assume that this is an intelligent story because this character's being intelligent, that they might just be tracking devices. Then that's a very
right because if it like not that they couldn't have it be more because sci-fi stuff and whatnot and whatever these creatures are, but if it goes into much beyond tracking devices as far as sophistication goes, even just having it regularly record where they've been, you know, then they're boned. Like there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, like this is something that I am dangerously worried a bit about, not plot holes, but just the idea of plot conveniences. If they have real tracking devices in them and it's just a regular ping of showing where they are on a gridded map of sorts that she kind of has right here, wouldn't she have a computer terminal on the premises for purposes of like at the very least communicating outside? Yeah, maybe that's something that
a private office kind of a thing.
A private office hidden on site on some level.
Well, or at least just her computer's password protected, like some security measures, because they have the technology for like the tests and stuff to do, like it's not like
it's 2045 also. Remember the calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
So the tracking devices are probably extremely sophisticated, but they're
given that actually there's almost no reason why they shouldn't.
Well, yes, exactly.
Unless
my thought was that they have a thing where they just show areas of activity. So an idea would be like you have a circle, that's where the compound is, right?
Right.
And then you basically have the ring around that, and that's the wall.
Yeah.
And they basically look to see how many times the kids go over the first ring. And that basically shows in her mind some kind of divergent behavior.
Right.
It's something. It's like, whoa, wait. We programmed you to, feel like you're safe here, so stay within that. What caused that divergent behavior?
It almost would have been better if maybe potentially if when asked about like, oh, did you go outside the wall? And it's like, no, that's against the rules, because they knew about the tracking devices. If Emma had been like, yeah, I hoped you wouldn't find out. Like, yeah, I was just curious, Yeah.
I wanted to see over the top because I want to see if there's any giraffes out there.
Exactly, and doing something like that, which is like huge gamble. But
I
it's
don't
also,
think it would work.
Though. Yeah, right. The only thing is that like would that then be something that would prompt Mom to potentially have her act prematurely, maybe let some information slip or whatever, or something, because one of the other things that you could theoretically do is if you make it so that you throw Mom a bone, right, but it's not so clear that she immediately acts and just ships you out, right, but basically she just has her eye on you, then you basically could, if you signaled somehow without her knowing to the others that you have to do this without me as far as planning goes, then you're just the decoy, right? Yep. You keep her focused, you keep her attention, and then while she's focused
and
on
act
you,
weird, like
exactly, and do little things to make her keep suspicious of you, but not be too suspicious, right?
Right. A way to do that would be let's say they're approaching, adulthood. And you showcase the signs of just puberty.
Yeah.
You're like, I've been really thinking about Emma a lot recently. In fact, that's actually kind of what I would expect Norman to kind of do. He talked about the whole idea of a mud boat, and basically I will utilize myself. Like he said that very emphatically, I will do whatever it takes to make this work.
Right.
I will. It's almost like the saying, I sacrifice,
Well, and if if mom ended up finding out that they maybe went outside of that little wall thing, and it was, say, just Emma and Norman, they could be like, yeah, dude, we were kissing out there just because, you know, like they could say pretty much whatever they wanted, you know. Because the thing is that while these kids are very smart and they've been raised in a very controlled environment, and no doubt the whole thing of don't break the rules has very much been drilled into their heads.
Sure.
Kids still like to break rules.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, so so there might be some level, but of course they might not want to test that because they know what the stakes could be. Exactly. But the idea of them, you know, having little things where they break little rules in ways that might seem harmless to them if they really just think they're, you know, at this place.
But it is something that's interesting is that we don't know the history of the kids in this place. If it is something where, no, kids in general just don't tend to break rules here because they don't maybe see that behavior exhibited in other kids because those kids don't stay here long enough in order to
because
develop
they're able to figure out which kids are most psychologically probable to do that, and then they ship them out at the younger ages or whatever. It's something where there's a very real problem of, I would say, exhibiting divergent behavior. So in any way, it's something where we don't know yet, because we've been in this show for 2 episodes, what constitutes fully divergent behavior. And here's the thing. The fact that they're raising kids, it would be one thing if they were raising like adults, you know, and they basically were harvesting adults or something in some way. But the fact that they're raising kids, one of the things with kids is that they question, right? Because it's the new generation. They have to learn everything themselves. And while there's the stuff that they are given, maybe that's why they ship them off before not after 12, you know, like it could be the whole idea of the brain and like neural pathways and everything deteriorating, or just they get into that rebellious stage where they start to question things, you know, because, you know, I think from 12 and below, it's like they might be more accepting of things. Just this is the way things are.
I think that you're right in that, but I think that's more of a meta narrative, and the idea of adults bad and, you know, rebelling is kind of the thing that we are keeping these kids from doing.
I'm not talking about it from that perspective, although that
I just think that's where it's primarily being focused on. But I know that's not what you're talking about. But the idea that
since they're raising kids, right, and the fact that, granted, most of the time the kids don't last as long, and the fact that they've lasted this long seems to be because of their mental aptitude, right? So they want to make that long-term investment. But one of the ideas, especially if they're dealing with the brain and intelligence and stuff, is the idea that doing things differently, right? Because that's how like societies advance technologically and everything. It's because, you know, they question things and then they do things differently and whatnot. So like I almost wonder if I don't know.
Yeah. So on some level, this is something that I'm glad they brought up early with the idea of you know, questioning why things are being done this specific way. And they went a little bit into that with Emma and Norman kind of discussing that. But once Ray got brought into the equation, he went all strategy.
Right.
Wait. Which one was strategy and which was tactics?
Well, Ray is the mechanical one.
So he's probably tactics then.
Yeah, like more concrete strategy stuff. And then Norman's like strategy, like, okay. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Right. So then Ray is basically just like, this won't work. This is impossible. Right. Because he looks at this from the tactical perspective of very like mechanical step-by-step consequence, action, reaction kind of thing.
Right.
And he just sees, no, this won't work even if we do escape because we'll be dead in 6 months.
Right.
You know, based on my tactical assessment.
A very conservative, you know, like if we do everything real well, we might make it 6 months.
Yeah, you know? I'm throwing an arbitrary number out there. The point is that I think that Ray being convinced of this by Norman, and Norman basically saying, I will do whatever it takes, not just because I will utilize myself to the utmost in order to make this happen, but because I want to see Emma smile. I want to see Emma have all the best that this world can offer. And I'm like, wow, these kids are not only mature in that in some ways they're already thinking about the, you know, our freedom. Is it worth any price?
Right.
You know,
life kind of drill. You know, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. So I am I love that there's the whole Great Escape aspect here, and you know, for those of you that haven't seen The Great Escape and you've only seen like Chicken Run or something like that, for instance, and stuff.
Yeah, Chicken Run is just
Great Escape.
The Great Escape with chickens.
Yeah. But for those of you that haven't seen The Great Escape, there's very real interpersonal issues that come up when you have people that are basically saying we're going to escape,
right?
But some of them are being like, no, we're not bringing anyone else. Or some of them are being like,
we're not bringing that person specifically, are we? They'll cause trouble,
right? Yeah. And the way like Ray went so quickly to we will assess who can make it,
right?
Like, who has the actual ability.
And Norman's refuting of that was not, we shouldn't do that.
But you shouldn't say that to Emma, basically.
Right, exactly. That will make Emma sad, you know.
Yeah, that will cause Emma distress, and then we'll get found out because Emma will be distressed.
Well, sure, that too, yeah.
That confrontation in the hallway with suddenly Mom like popping up like
right there,
halfway behind the corner,
and then Emma like just you know, putting on the face and everything, and it's wonderful, and Norman's freaking out just watching this, but that whole thing of Emma being like, oh yeah, I wonder what, you know, what Connie's doing right now. Yeah. She wanted to be a mom just like you. Just like you.
Oh my God.
It's like
just dripping with genius.
Yeah. It's like there's okay. You know that Pop Team Epic gif where it's like the gun pointed down and it's like,
right.
Oh yeah, like that's basically what Emma was you know, doing in her mind right there,
basically,
to Mom. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing that I don't think I really went in depth into in my analysis based on the idea of these creatures, these demons as they're calling them out there existing, is the idea of there being some reason beyond sustenance that they're doing this. Sure,
because this very much seems like a delicacy thing where it's, you know, once every 2 months, it's for the wealthy, you know.
Yeah, it's not something where they're doing this just because they
need it to survive.
They need it to survive.
It's like, no, this is
premium. This is
caviar.
This is the good stuff. Exactly.
So have this with a bottle of very nice champagne.
And the idea of, even in the imagery they showed in the very beginning of the banquet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I'm questioning here is this going to be the dark narrative where this is about I would say the dissolution sounds a bit too on the nose, but basically the dissolution of humanity and just kind of laughing at it, at the limited aspect of humanity, but in the same breath celebrating the potential of the greatest in humanity.
Because that's what they seem to value the most with their whole delicacy thing, which...
Right. Or we don't take at all anything with regards to the weakness of humanity. And this is a show about only basically the incredible potential of humanity. Meaning that on some level, there's a species, a creature, demons, if you will, what have you, that find value, that find extreme value potentially in the superior potential of humanity. Basically, there's some really creepy things that can come from that, because we're watching a show called Monster at this point here in it, and there's stuff involving kids with high intelligence and stuff there. And it makes me thinking the whole idea of child experimentation with, you know, really intelligent kids and stuff.
The whole idea of them escaping, I would not at all be surprised. And I know I said this in the last episode, if that was another, you know, scenario. It's like, ooh, these three are that good. They're going to be that tasty that they were able to figure everything out and convince all the others to leave. Oh yeah, this is the perfect grooming process for them. They reached their limits in this farm. Yeah, let's have them go out into the world and see how well they do.
Little Maze Runner bleeding into you.
Basically, which totally ruined it.
That hurts my heart.
Just because then.
Anyways, we don't need to talk about that. Sorry for bringing it up. My bad.
But one of the other things that I think is kind of ironic is that they're calling them demons when and
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you know, it fits.
They have no other grid for it, probably.
But given that we're watching this right after Devilman Crybaby,
you know,
sure, the demons and you know, and the whole idea of the humans and everything and whatnot, like, I don't know, maybe, you know, or maybe it's just the fact that that both of them were straight to timer, you know, it's like, the coincidences. Are we actually in a simulation right now? Are we being farmed?
Okay. That does bring up the whole thing of the Matrix and stuff. And I am pretty hard on the idea of this being a sci-fi because it's 2045.
Well, right, and the whole test things. I mean, that was the way to establish that yes, this is a sci-fi.
And also on some level, I find it very contradictory to the whole idea of sci-fi by having them being called demons and having them show up with claws and creatures and eyeballs and stuff. And it's like, well, wait, how do we know these are anything more than just the servants of something else?
Right. Well, in the aesthetic for the school, apart from like the actual testing stuff,
is that Victorian era?
Almost feels like a Victorian era, you know, kind of thing. So
I think that's more of a point that the Charles Dickens child slavery kind of labor stuff.
And the idea of like the controlled environment, like it's an encapsulated thing separate from the rest of time and you know, the world and whatnot.
I think the orphanage, the farm itself, let's just call it the farm from now, is meant to be an establishing look of the world for these kids, but it's going to be rudely awakened. Their view of the world is going to be rudely shattered when they leave. So I think that's my guess for the whole thing.
Now here's something they brought up.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is a bit interesting. When they talked about the whole idea that the world outside would be completely run by these demons, right? In order for this farm to exist.
They said it would be a demon society.
Right. Norman said, not only do I want to get us all out of here, I want to make a place where we can be, where, you know, where Emma can smile, basically.
Right.
That almost feels like some sort of code geass, like they're prepping us for a revolution that's outside. Like where it's like there's because one of the things that, like, if you think about it, there are humans outside these farms, because otherwise where do they get the kids from, right? You know, at the very least, they need to have a lab somewhere where they basically start growing, you know, the infants to, you know, until they can be shipped off to the farm, right?
I know, it's really unnerving to think about where the kids are coming from.
Yeah, but the thing is that but it could also be something where there could be a resistance movement. There could be all sorts of other things. I kind of don't want.
There's a birthing farm, obviously. Well, that's so dumb. Of course there would be.
Yeah.
We have the plumping farm though that we fatten them up. We get them fat with all that good stuff, and then we have the other one where there's basically just a constant insemination thing going.
Well, and I would not at all be surprised if these kids were well, they don't even need the women there necessarily, just need, you know, like eggs hooked up to, you know, machines and stuff.
Sure.
But I would not at all be surprised if they did some kind of genetic engineering type stuff to try and make the
super kids,
super kids, you know, so that there are more intelligent ones, since the brain is the tastiest, you know, type thing or whatever.
But see, if they wanted to make this really dark, I think going to machinery would actually make this feel a little bit colder,
because then it's too understood.
Well, it's something where on some level then they might go into cloning and stuff,
right? Because there was that whole thing. Great point.
So I think,
and there was
the
rose like coming out of Connie, which is like that is a very particular aesthetic choice, and they referenced it a lot in the opening and the ending.
I think it would be something where they need it to be as natural as possible, in order to probably be as effective
they need all that like regular noise kind of to get in there so that the brain can properly develop, which is why this idea that I keep harping on about, that them escaping could be all according to Keikaku. Because that would help, like, if anything were to help develop the brain even further than what the school does, wouldn't that? Because then you're going into a completely alien environment. You have to adapt, you know, on the fly, you know, to things you've never seen before.
And you're saying this would explain the convenience of them coming, like, within the gate and things being basically prepped for someone who is a rules breaker to figure it out.
Right.
And like, that kind of fits all within the
Yeah,
like,
because
it's like, oh, we're running scenario 12 here.
Exactly.
We finally have a scenario 12 after 10 years.
Like,
you know,
these kids were determined, because they all aced the test, they were determined to be eligible potentially for the super program. You know,
that's messed up.
Because then you don't even have to worry about like potential plot holes or conveniences, because then it could all be according to the original plan of the things, right? You know?
Yes. You know what?
What?
You mentioned a simulation. Why are they perfect at the tests and like no one else is? What if they're the only ones actually here?
What if, okay, that's like, a great point. You don't need them to actually be conscious. This could all be in a sedated tank, basically. There are things like well, anyways. But yeah, you could totally have. Yep. I am very much on board with that idea.
The idea that it's like, wow, like they're so intelligent. They're the main characters. And then it's basically just a thing where it's like, well, no, here's some problems with that.
What?
I think they would put this into believing that they are in some kind of Victorian era thing, and they wouldn't have them go into computerized tests and stuff. They would try to keep it as mundane as possible.
But maybe the tests is because they still need to exercise the brain, basically.
Oh, so you're saying that's where they kind of into they take part in the simulation in some way,
right? In order to keep it so that they're still developing the cognitive functions, because like
they wouldn't know, like they could just limit the amount of knowledge they have accessible to them through books and stuff, so that it's not even a thing where they would ever come up to the question of,
and they would have perfect monitoring of them at that point anyway, so they wouldn't need to worry about it.
And then it breaks down again though when they, you know.
Yeah, maybe, but then it's like, but then at the same time, like the scanning stuff with the home, like the tests, that almost seem to be something where it's like there's like psychically linked to the thing to imprint the correct answer, because they like, because it's not like they would be like clicking something really fast, like hold, okay, you know, to imprint some specific thing in there. So it's probably some kind of like mechanically assisted thought transference, I'm guessing. I'm
gonna go out there and say that I think that the simulation theory has merit, but it's in
not
localized.
Gonna do it.
Well, no, it's more in localized areas. Like there's probably specific things that could be simulated, but this farm is real physically. It is an actual. It is an actual place.
From a meta perspective in the story, it does make it a lot better, because it's the whole idea of the mystery and the suspense and what's going to happen.
And it matters.
Exactly. Otherwise, it all becomes pointless. And then, you know.
I think my brain went a little bit too Maze Runner-y for a little bit.
But the thing is that unlike in Maze Runner, there would be an actual reason for it to happen.
So the drama that could now ensue with having Krone be brought into the mix now is that Mom knows that someone knows, and the problem is
she's taking proper precautions.
She's taking proper precautions, but the thing is that that's just bringing a second pair of eyes. But the thing is, the kids were scared enough with having just Mom there.
Oh yeah,
Mom seems to be this like this all-knowing, all-seeing eye of Sauron. She's just like, I am watching you.
Right, but I'm thankful that they basically brought up, hey, clearly she doesn't know where we are all the time. She is not truly all-seeing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now. You know, so this is basically, in some ways, Mom showing her weakness, because she realizes
you're right. She's insufficient currently.
The action economy is not on her side, and that can sway even the most outbalanced of battles.
I could have as many as 37 rolls of initiative go before me.
Yeah, like I only have 3 legendary actions. That's a long time in between my turns.
And maybe they only do 1d4 minus 2 damage.
Exactly. But you know, multiply that by 37. Yeah.
Per turn.
Yeah.
I would. Now, I'm just going to say this here, y'all. I don't know how violent this show is going to get with regards to the kids.
But they have ammunition. They could take out a lot of kids and still have the named characters. Yep.
And I'm thinking that if this goes that route where they start counting down the number of kids that are left, it becomes a thing where they realize on some level, Mom doesn't care even about like whether or not they, they all get shipped off at the optimal times.
It'll go into like corporate type stuff where it's like, but see, the thing is, we need to maintain the security of our assets. So if we lose a few, it's unfortunate, but
we don't lose the entire farm.
We don't lose the whole crop.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do a bit of pruning. Yeah.
And that whole just psychological level things is so disturbing that I hope we get to a point where this show basically has like maybe 7 of them are now in on it. And they're like, once we get the chance, like they start making weapons, and they are going to corner
Let's
her
see if mom
in a
is
room.
human. Yeah.
And they just bludgeon, stab, just mutilate her to death.
And then far away,
calling for that level of blood now, because I'm sure it's not going to happen either like anytime soon or even at all. But if it does happen at like a future episode or something where it's like, all right, tonight's the night, and things go like really like step by step, and then she actually confronts them, and maybe it's just like, oh well, it's unfortunate it had to be you, and she has like this like sedation like dart gun or something like that where she's just like,
sure,
I'm gonna put you all to sleep, but then they swarm her like a pack of basically piranhas, and just
and the ultimate Attack on Titan season 1 finale twist would be then that after that happens, then it goes really far away, and there's one of the demons at a computer, and it's like delicious.
Oh, that too. Or you basically have a thing where they realize, all right, we're gonna get everyone out, and then they're like, oh, wow, we did it. We saved everyone. And then it zooms out, and you realize that they're in a countryside area where there's like 500 farms.
Sure.
Like tons of them.
Heck, they could have this.
Oh my God.
Here's something. The Promised Neverland as a title. The Promised Neverland as a title. That seems very telling.
Oh, yeah.
It almost
never
feels,
grow old.
Well, they'll never grow old, but it could also feel like something where they could almost take this into Slavery America, where it's like, okay, they escaped the plantation, but there's tons of plantations, and they need to form like an underground railroad or something like that in order to get to the land where they'll be safe, the legendary land where they'll be safe.
But they don't know anything about that.
They don't know anything about it. They don't know necessarily if it exists, but there are so many things that they could do here. Like, this is amazing.
Like? You know what I would like? This would be actually really awesome. Is they take over the farm. And they set a trap for the next shipment.
Sure.
And they're like, I don't know how we're going to kill these things.
Oh, man.
But we're going to have to kill all but one of them, and then we're going to torture the left remaining one for information.
Well, they could also do that with Mom, potentially. If she has information. She might not, but...
I think...
Because they could go as far as to have Mom be like someone that basically... passed the tests on the previous farm so well that it's like, okay, you'll work for us now.
I think if we can assume that there are lots of farms, Mom is pointless. Mom is
definitely.
Then but if they're an important farm, like if they're like one of like 3 or one of the only ones, then Mom is probably really important.
Well, and either way, because if she's human, regardless, she's important because it's the idea that somehow she got into this situation where they're like, okay, we need a human to watch over them because that is, achieves prime results or whatever. And you are sufficiently psychopathic that, you will be able to do it just fine.
And it's also darker of a story, and it's more interesting if she is human. If she's a
if she just transforms into some tentacly teeth monster, it's like, that's less cool, but But oh man, this show,
y'all.
Thanks for hounding us to watch it.
So y'all, thank you so much for watching this reaction and all the way to the end of the discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level of support gets you access to our Discord where you can chat with us about these shows, non-spoilery of course, or just hang out and chat about whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.